Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we are going to be training probably around 20 minutes of chess. Because I'm running completely behind on my schedule today, I think I'm having one of those days where, uh, you know when like you have such an exhilarating day the day before, but the next day you've just got no energy left. I'm having one of those days, and I've got 3 lessons still to teach, so I basically need to reserve some energy for those lessons. But the good news is that yesterday you heard me talk about this league match, and I really trained hard that day. Like I trained some Woodpecker, I trained some Edward calculation in person with my friend Ife, and I managed to win. I managed to beat a 2150 ECS player. It was actually a really exceptional game, and I was extremely sharp. I was so focused, and yeah, managed to pull off a really great victory. So I would have liked to show you it, but I just don't have the time today, and I stupidly indulged in some bulletin blitz in the morning / early afternoon. Wasn't even that long, but I think it's just like I didn't even have the time to do that. So yeah, I've basically been catching up on a bunch of things that I needed to get done, and yeah, definitely didn't have time for an online chess sesh. But here we are, and I think let's just get into some woodpecker training while we have a little bit of time to put in some training. Jan asks, what's the blue shield? Is this going to be like some troll where I say, what's the blue shield, and then like I get trolled? I don't know. What's the blue shield? Gloin, welcome. How's it going? Hope your gym and chess routines are going swimmingly. Now, we are on 80 out of 254 on intermediate exercises. Let's just try and squeeze a few of these in. I am tired. I'm tired, guys. I'm not gonna lie. But we move. Okay, so Khalisman still against Husman. Black is threatening to protect himself with rook g8 and start some counterplay with bishop c5. White must be quick in their attack. Okay, immediate instinct is to play rook g4, and on rook g8, then I can sack the queen. Oh, that doesn't work, because I thought rook check, and then I thought I had mate, but the problem is they've got king f8, right? So, it doesn't quite work. And okay, so again, tunnel visioning immediately, probably shouldn't be doing that. So let's just take a second to understand. So we've got queen, rook, rook, knight against queen, rook, rook, bishop. 1, 3, 5, 6 against 6. Their king is like boxed in, but our pieces are very clumsy to attack. This knight is also not easy to come in. As Axel Smith mentioned, rook g8, bishop c5, defensive and counter-attacking moves are on the cards. So, okay, what piece tension is there? So there's pressure, there's pressure, there's pressure. Pressure here. There's this file. And the x-rays, maybe through this way, through that way. Okay, and what about loose pieces? Loose piece. Fine. So, okay, what checks do we have? We've got check here, we've got check here. What captures do we have? We can take on f7. And what threats do we have? Rook g7 is a threat. Rook g4 is a threat. Queen h6 is a threat. That's probably it for now. I mean, maybe like rook d3 or something on knight e2, like hit the queen, but don't think so. Okay, so let's begin with our checks. Okay, queen h7, king h7. The only reasonable follow-up is rook g4, but I think this just doesn't work. We just go rook g8. They're threatening to trade. If we give a check, rook g7, rook g3, and they just run. So I think they're doing fine. Rook g8 check, rook takes. I can take on f7, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. Black can always play rook g7 here. So okay, captures, queen f7, rook f7, nothing. So threats, queen h6, threatens to mate on g7, which looks like this is the only move that's possible. No follow-up there, I think. Rook g7 threatens mate in 1, but king can take. I've got one check on g4. I've also got a check on g3. I mean, rook g3, king h8, rook g4, trying to get into h4. But it's just too slow. I mean, even rook g8, rook h4, and rook g7 is fine. So rook g4, which was the original idea. Rook g8. Queen h7, just king h7. That's what I looked at before. So what about rook g4, rook g8, rook h4, rook g7? Rook g3, the problem is they can just hold with rook g8. So I think I'm out of ideas, right? I also didn't consider queen g4 as a candidate move. Probably should have. Rook g8 though. I mean, queen g5 also threatens mate, but just gets taken. Same with queen g6. What have I not considered yet? Oh, rook g6 I haven't considered. So hold up. If pawn takes and I take back with the pawn, I'm threatening mate. They can try defend with rook f7, in which case they give back the rook and I gain a pawn. A pretty strong pawn at that. Covers g8 as well. So rook g6, starting to look more promising. If they try rook g8, does this make a difference? Or is it just the same? Like if I play rook h6, they just go rook g7. It's no different. Is there a difference here? Maybe the difference is that this time, if we support this rook, and therefore we're preparing rook h6, if they try rook... they can't play rook g7 because we take it, and if they take us, then I guess we take with the pawn? They take back, we take with the rook, but I'm not sure how convinced I am of that. They have won a pawn though, it does look promising. So rook g6 is definitely the strongest move that we've seen so far. So it basically tries to get this pawn involved as well. Yeah, I really can't see anything else. So I have to just go for it. I don't understand rook g4. Rook g8? For slightly odd b4 wins quickly. b4 is very odd. I guess there's no rook g8, queen f7, right? And bishop c5 is covered. But rook g4, I don't get it. Just rook g8. I guess I didn't consider rook g3 here, which is kind of bad. Because there's definitely no rook g7 there, and they can take. But then after takes... Yeah, I'm exhausted. I am too tired. Rook g4, rook g8. I guess rook g3? They need to take. And then we can take back with pawn or rook. If we take back with pawn, they just go rook g8, rook h3, rook g7, and they're in time. I guess it's something to do with picking up f7. Oh, maybe it's just picking up f7 immediately. Rook g4, rook g8, and we just take. I don't know why I missed that. That also hits the loose bishop, which is quite nice. But rook g4, rook g8, queen f7, bishop c5. Are we not in danger? This is why, like, optimizing your physical conditions are so important to be a strong chess player. It's like, the difference in ability between me today and me yesterday, I want to say it's like 400 elo. I'm not kidding. It's just like, I'm just like so drained from the last 5 days of a classical game each day, and like, you know, every game getting closer and closer to getting that win, and then finally getting a win. It's just like, all like, energy is just completely gone. Need to be careful with the time as well. Don't want to be late for my lesson. It's at 5:15 today. I still didn't get it. Rook g4, rook g8. What's the clean, crisp win that I'm missing? Really bad that I didn't see rook g3. Take, rook takes, rook takes. Maybe in this move order it's better. Take on f7. They take on g8. Take on g4. There's no queen e8 because they just block rook g8. What, and if we take back, I guess they can always play bishop c5 still. Queen e8 with king g7 now. Guys, I have no idea. I have no idea why rook g4 is correct after rook g8. I mean, maybe it is just we have enough after queen f7. Maybe we just have enough there. And if bishop c5, then we... I don't know. I don't know what, play like knight e2 or something, cover g8. But then there's like queen d1, which looks very uncomfortable. I have no idea how rook g4 works. Ah, man. I don't get it. Rook g4, rook g8. I've been staring at this for like 15 minutes already. It has to be rook g3. Rook takes g4, and then I'm missing something. Probably just rook takes, right? Rook comes to g8. I go queen takes f7, rook g4, pawn g4, and maybe that's just a winning position for me. Because the bishop's hit. If bishop c5, now I've got king h2. Queen g1. Maybe I just go king h3? Maybe that's just fine. But it's still queen h1 check, king g3, queen e1. Feels like some kind of perpetual. I don't know, that's the best I've got. Like, we're gonna be here all day. So he doesn't play rook g8, interesting. Well, then now I've just got mate in 2, so what was the point in that? That's so stupid. Why is this not... Okay, so rook fg3, right? That was what I was gonna do. Rook takes g4. Oh, queen g4. Oh, I couldn't see that. Oh. This is the kind of chess blindness that just is absolutely brutal. It's absolutely brutal because just gives me war flashbacks to having games like this back when I used to play ambitious 1e4, and I just get winning attacks like this, and I just miss a move like this. And I just can't see it. Yeah, it's crazy. Did anyone find queen g4? Dang, only 25 minutes. Yeah, I know. I wish I could stream more. Maybe I can do like a second half of the stream tonight if I've got the energy. Next to your name, there's no blue shield. It's just a spanner, at least on my phone. Welcome everyone. Fritz, Faz, Peter. The gang is joining. Josh. Playing Nottingham Rapid Play, fantastic. Gotta get back to that classical grind. Yeah, I'm glad you're playing in the major as well, not the intermediate. Sounds very good. Wait, so no one actually gave a line? So literally no one actually found queen g4. And why is this not given as the main move? That's so stupid. Oh, queen g4 is so annoying. I guess it's a backwards queen move. It's not completely easy. You did, but I missed your comment. Oh, I did miss your comment. Whoops. Yeah, queen g4. Good job, Peter. Yeah, Gloin says no hints, Peter, and then Jan says bro is not checking chat. I didn't even see the answer even when I was checking chat. Imagine me trying to cheat reading chat and I can't even read. actual struggles. Okay, let's try one more. Jesus Christ, let's try and redeem ourselves. On the bus, hard to calculate. I'm impressed by you even trying. I would take any excuse to not do this. Instant reaction, is it not queen f3 just to pick up this rook? Queen f3 and then rook b8, is there some knockout immediately? Of course there isn't. Okay, let's actually think. So we've got queen 2 rooks 2 knights against queen 2 rooks knight bishop. They've got bishop for knight. We've got 1 2 3 4 5 6. They've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, we're 2 pawns down. They've got bishop for knight. Their development sucks. I'm suddenly this move jumps out, and after queen takes, then I've got this rook move, and my logic is that if the queen moves off this line somewhere, then I've got this fork with the king, right? So my idea is that if rook e1 and they go back queen f7, then maybe I've got rook e7 here to cover these two squares, and then get in the fork. So that's the idea. The only problem is that there's knight e5. Oh my god, arrows. Knight e5. And then I'm just down a knight, which is why I shouldn't be tunnel visioning. Okay, let's keep going. So, what tension do we have? We've got protection on the pawn on d6, pressure on e6, pressure on c5. Yeah, so maybe, for instance, knight e6, queen e6, rook e1, knight e5, knight takes c5 is interesting. Yeah, because if queen f7, then we can take the knight. And where can we go with the queen to keep guarding the knight, probably like queen e8, but then I've got queen d5 check again. And I guess if bishop tries to block, then I can just take the bishop. I think it works, you know? I think it works. Screw it, I'm going to play it. I'm feeling impulsive. I'm feeling tired. Okay, queen e1, trash move. Let's go. Surprisingly, they don't even give knight e5 as a candidate. Actually, not surprisingly. Unsurprisingly, Axel Smith does not give a move that's human, but not approved by engine, because he's only checking with an engine. Knight c5 is indeed best. Nice. Let's go. God. Faz found it and hinted at it? Literally everyone found it? Bro, I don't even... I'm not even going to scroll back to read. I can't be bothered. Oh, wow, you found it. Yes, I did, Faz. Incredible. Queen f7. My idea was rook e7, right? That's what I was saying. I don't know what point you're saying queen f7. This is impressive, Michael. Don't think anyone in chat had it yet. That's crazy. I think that's something that has hit me in these last few days of fatigue. It's like I feel like my intuition is like sharper, but I can't think as logically and as methodically. Yeah, after this trip to the Netherlands, it's kind of left me in this state. Okay, so that's nice. Let's try and squeeze in one final one then. Okay, so we got queen, rook, rook, bishop, bishop, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. Queen, rook, rook, bishop, knight, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got bishop and knight. Tension. Got a lot of protection from the queen. Got pressure on d6, pressure on f6. Covering the g7 square. Both these bishops are looking strong. Bishop is supporting over here. Queen is also covering some squares. Rook is out of play. This rook is out of play. Our king is a lot safer. Their king is kind of boxed in. X-rays. Kind of looking through this. Maybe looking through here. Looking through here. Looking through here. And hanging pieces, loose pieces, loose piece, loose piece. Okay, fine. So what checks captures threats? We only have one check. No, we have two checks. What captures do we have? We've got rook takes d6. What threats do we have? Threats are threats. Threats. I don't know. No idea. And all of those checks and captures did not feel promising at all. I mean, maybe I can displace this queen to try and enter like this, but how do I do that? Maybe some kind of bishop move in the heart of their position does something. I don't know why, but I just had a flashback to when I was a junior. I used to always lose to like discovered checks and discovered attacks, and I noticed it. And I was already like an 1800 player at the time, but I hadn't ever studied any advanced tactics. And I remembered like, you know, I would fear this like discovered attack, discovered check motif because I would always fall for it. I don't know why that's just coming back. I remember I had a game against like Robert Ashworth where I lost in a great position just because he literally did a one move discovery, and probably the kids back then were thinking like, how is this guy already washed as a junior? It's crazy. I just didn't know that like advanced tactics was something you can study and understand the themes. Like I didn't learn that. Anyway, let's begin with our check. So queen takes, nothing. Bishop check. Also nothing. capture? Surely nothing. Like, to me, this kind of exercise is way harder than the other one. Like, the other one, it was a loose rook, like, the king was a bit exposed, but, like, how the hell are we supposed to make something happen here? Oh, God. Okay, let's just be thorough, because if queen takes, then I do have something. Probably. But rook takes, bishop takes, and surely there's nothing. Rook d5 does nothing. It's definitely not this rook. What about this rook? Surely not. This bishop? Does bishop g6 do something? Don't think so. Bishop e8? Just take it, like... What about bishop g4, bishop f5, queen h5 for this kind of plan? But it's not... Wait, is this bishop in trouble? Can I go b4? Oh, I could go b4 and then take on d6. Okay. Did not see that I even had this as a threat. So yeah, that's almost definitely going to be the move. Let's just calculate it for the sake of calculating it. Rook d6. If queen takes, then I go queen check. They can't block with the knight because I take that queen. And even though they'll win my bishop, I've got queen e5 at the end. Knight has to block on g7. I can take, and what we have a gazillion pawns, queen and rook against rook, bishop. So that should be good for us. And okay, b4, bishop a7, rook d6, queen f6. If they block with the rook, then we just go bishop takes, and that's devastating. So yeah, b4 is just completely winning. So they shouldn't have blocked with the rook, I think. Oh, this is actually kind of similar. Did I mess this up? Because then they can block. But it's kind of the same, just with one pair of rooks less. I don't know why I was able to see this line in the other line, but not see it here. That's really, really odd. But yeah, okay. I guess good job. Let's see how people were doing. Who got b4 first? Oh, Peter says you intuitively came out of rook g4 in the last exercise too. Yeah, but didn't have the right follow-up by any means. I had like one right idea, but it wasn't concrete enough to cover everything. Ah, great boundaries. That brings me back. Ah, thank God I don't have to deal with that anymore. Oh, nice. Wow, how can intuition be b4, bishop a7, rook d6? Like, to spot b4 so quickly, like, it would take me forever. Because there's, like, so much else to look at the position. Like, b4 just doesn't... It just doesn't feel relevant until I've seen, like, all the details. And yeah, Peter, you got there too. Very nice. The question is on rook d8, what's the move? At what point? Rook d8 here. Oh, and then the response from Faz was then, okay, rook d8, then f rook to d1. And then Peter confirms. Crazy. Bro got 1800 based off of vibes. I low-key did. It was just 1800 off of flagging, hustling, and I guess calculating decently well just because I didn't really have anything else going on in my brain. except to try and just calculate the best I could. So it's quite fascinating that how I was able to do that. And then also probably already start tailoring my games to positions where, I kind of understood all of the tactics in the position, despite being quite tactically flawed. Bro just doxed me. That's crazy. Classic Arab. How can one be 1800 FIDE without knowing tactics? I think there's a few things. Like what I just said, but also I think back then, 1800 FIDE was just worse than it is today. Like, I think genuinely, like, to become a FIDE master, like, 15 years ago or 10 years ago, it's really, really easier than it is today. I don't know, like, maybe easier is the wrong word, but it's like, you're definitely weaker as a player. That enough is clear. Yes, can suggest moves because I'm not checking chat until after I fully attempt the puzzle for myself. And nice Josh getting there with b4 rook d6 as well. Frizz says, I just saw rook d6 as a potential capture and the king is trouble in the dark squares. So I just want to deflect the bishops and take on d6. Yeah, that's really logical, actually. That's really logical. I kind of was like, I want to remove the queen, but then I was only looking at like moves with the bishop to remove the queen. I didn't really take this rook d6 seriously. Because I guess like I just saw rook d6 is guarded twice. And my brain stops there instead of being like, oh, let's deflect the bishop. So it's like one more line of logic that I need to then be faster with b4. Yeah, so that's an interesting comment. I've been all over the place as of late. Seems like it depends on which side of the bed I wake up on that day. Yeah, it's I mean, it's something I realized about myself a few years ago. That, like, if I have a really, really, really good day, my next day is almost always going to be ruined. Because I think it's just as simple as, like, some kind of, like, dopamine depletion, right? Because I mean, like, yesterday was, like, such a great day in terms of, like, I'd had this build-up, right? Of 4 draws from, like, 4 winning positions. And this is my last day of classical chess before I have to wait another week. And I needed to get the job done. And I played an exceptional game. Like, I really want to show you guys the full game at some point. But what I will just quickly show you, I've got like 2 minutes. So let me quickly show you this. But basically, I played an amazing tactic here. I mean, first of all, I had a super long think in this position. I was dealing with this annoying like stone wall type structure. And I went for this because I got like an initiative. And I really like this move knight b4 because it kind of prevents his bishop from being utilized. And I just had this way of like keeping up a lot of pressure on the position. And my opponent simplified here in the hopes to try and consolidate the position and just, grind this out. And this is where I found this idea, very woodpecker idea, of bishop takes g2. Right? Because the point is queen can't take because of queen takes e3 and there's this fork. And I didn't see this from miles away, but almost as soon as bishop d3 was played, I saw it instantly. So it was very cool to see bishop g2. But what's more interesting is because I've been solving these exercises with Ife, where like it's often like find some really super difficult defense that some grandmaster missed. I actually spotted that after bishop g2, there was a defense of h4. Because, I can't just move queen g4 because then I missed the pawn. So I thought, okay, at least I have queen g3. But then I thought, rather than take on g2, they can just play the subtle move queen f2. And I thought I was in trouble here because I thought that, I can no longer, queen f2 doesn't work right now because I've got like a discovery, right? But with my queen on g3, then I don't have this discovery, right? Because then I drop my queen. So I thought in this position, I would have to trade queens. So I took a bit of a gamble here because I knew that like probably I'm not worse, but I'm definitely not better. And I went for it because I had the feeling like I could tell my opponent was not feeling so confident based on like, the way I was playing this game. I was playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of charisma. That was my, I was really feeling it, right? And so I had the feeling he was going to miss it, and he did, right? He played king f2. But it turns out that actually h4, we discussed it afterwards, and he just completely missed h4. But we both then missed in the analysis that after queen g3, queen f2, I've got this beautiful move, Queen H3, which keeps the threat alive of taking on E3. Still cannot take the bishop, and I still have a +3 advantage for black. So, yeah, in actual fact, this game was pretty much flawless. I missed, the only inaccuracy I played was basically at this moment taking on e5 with the bishop, and the only reason why this wasn't best was because there's actually an even stronger move the night before. But this required a lot of like depth. I mean, I haven't even completely understood it quite yet. I think I just saw like knight d7 and was like, I'm not about this. But the point is that there's a6, and then actually, if they take on f8, I come out on top here. But this to me, this knight b4 was not so clear to me. Like, even if they don't go in knight d7, I wasn't exactly sure like what I've achieved with this move. Like, even if I come down to c2, is this really such a big deal? If they play like a3 or something. So knight c2, and they just play queen d2, guarding the pawn. Queen b6. I mean, queen b6, it just looks like there's some knight d7, but I guess the bishop is loose. And if they move the bishop back, then I'm taking on b3, right? So okay, but yeah, it's a tough move to spot, and there's a lot of like ghosts that you can see, like knight d7. You need to have this move a6 in order to survive this. But yeah, I've got a lesson in 1 minute, guys, so I gotta get moving. But basically, yeah, this was a really, really nice game. Bishop takes g2 was cool, and I think all of this woodpecker is building up, which is really good. And actually, that reminds me, I really need to make this episode that Peter pointed out, where I basically solved the same exercise of woodpecker 3 times, and each time I've solved it, despite forgetting the puzzle, I've done a better and better job. So I think it's really interesting to make a video on this. Yeah, so lots to get done, lots of work to do, and see you Friday. See you Friday, guys. So thanks for tuning in, as always. And yeah, uploads and streams to come. Thanks again. Okay, bye.